foreshadow time.
Welcome back to the Enjoy the Walk podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We have all kinds of stuff going on in the golf industry right now. We've got the pros coming back. We've got some exhibitions coming back and some fun golf being played between the PGA pros and the Korn Ferry pros. We've got our own golf stories. We've just got so much to talk about this week, Dante. It's an exciting time to be a golf fan right now.
It really is, and it kind of came out of nowhere. At first, it was just, all right, here's one exhibition, here's the Tiger exhibition, and that was it. And then it was like, obviously, our situations were just playing a shit ton of golf. So, I mean, we had that going.
That's where I want to start. I want to start with our golf because, like you said, we went from playing no golf to jamming in 36 a day at times, and probably playing at least once a day. I think you and I both there for a good solid 2 weeks. We're playing all but every day.
I think the month of May, I took 4 days off.
That's incredible. I love it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my body's now finally deciding, hey, you need to either find a way to get your muscles ready for the next round or take a damn break.
Yeah,
I'm waking up
Quarantine bod did not prepare us to play all this golf right off the bat like we have been.
Yeah, I mean, and even if working out, it's a lot of body weight stuff, which is good. Probably gonna have to start stretching a lot more. But even if you're trying to do strength training, it's a little difficult at times because gyms aren't open, or unless you want to go to like your local sporting goods store and do like curbside pickup and be fortunate enough to see if they had any type of weights, like heavier weights and like dumbbells that are available, because these stores are pretty much empty because people probably did that already and they're just picking it up.
It's funny, man. It's I think I told you after every round that I walked, especially the days of 36, there was a immediate power nap afterwards. We've had some heat though too over the last couple weeks. Mid 90s at times and humid. So let alone our body's not being prepped to walk 18 or 36 as it is, but to have the humidity as hot as it's been a grind out there.
That's the problem. I was actually Andy K. One we play with Steve and Andy in our match when you came up. I was playing. He texted me the other night and he goes, "Yo, you want to play Saturday, 12:30?" And I'm like, it's always good to play with better players too, because it's like it's fun watching him play because he's just hits like crazy shots. Anyway, so I'm like, I'm already playing in the morning. I was like texting. I was like, yeah, I'm 70% yes, probably about 100. Yeah, I'll play 36. And dummy me decides I'm going to play 36 holes on the hottest day. And we were discussing that it's not necessarily the heat, it's the humidity. When it's at 100% humidity, that's when it gets a little unbearing. Muggy, and then you're just soaked, and it's really not fun. But if it wants to be 95 degrees and dry outside, I'll be there any day of the week.
Yep, I was gonna say the other day, man, you hit the nail on the head. The humidity was just so draining. I took a gallon of water with me, and I drank all of it in like 18 holes, and I still felt like I was like parsed in my mouth. It was ridiculous. It was so hot. I feel like I lost 20 pounds of sweat weight. My clothes were drenched top to bottom. You want to talk about some swamp ass? It was real. It was just it was one of those days where you get home and you just feel like doing nothing for the rest of the day, except playing golf the next day.
I know. You're like, what time do I want to play tomorrow? And that's the tough part in these certain, like especially my area when the humidity gets ridiculous in the summertime and you have to deal with that. Like I have problems with like sweaty hands, so like gripping the club is very difficult unless I try and figure something out. But when it comes to that, I mean, it's either you're getting up at 5:30 in the morning to go play a 6:30 a.m. round just to beat the humidity and the heat that's going to kick in later in the day, or you figure something out. And I'll tell you what, that I got to figure something out because
I think you're getting there. You've tested the waters of other means of grip, grip adhesion. Talk us through what the heck you're doing to try and find some grip out there, because I think it's something we all struggle with during these hot summer months.
There's grips out there as your hands get sweatier, the grip gets tackier, which will give you more grip. I know a lot of Australian guys use them because it is just insanely hot down there.
Well, and
I
it's
don't even know
native to
how they
them, right?
do.
It's that
That's
kangaroo
awesome.
leather.
Yeah, it's the Roo grip. And so I was thinking about doing that. But with that type of quality, you're going to have to pay a little bit of money. So I was like, do I really want to drop? I added up. It was about $300 for a 14 club set of grips. It's like, do I really want to do that right now?
That hurts.
I'll
That
hold
hurts the
off.
pocket. That hurts the
That hurts the
pocket.
pocket. And then it's not, I don't know. That's just off of reading reviews and reading what the description of what the grip's going to do. I never even put it into use. So do I want to maybe buy one, give it a shot, and then if it works, then I'll be like, all right, I'm going to roll with this. But I mean, how many times am I necessarily playing where it's that sticky humid all the time? Because usually I play in the morning and I beat it. But when you get one of those couple rounds out there where you're playing in that crazy heat and humidity, you know, it's frustrating because that's your only connection to the club. And when you are not confident if your hand's going to slip or not, you're not going to hit the ball well. So it's like, hold up. So someone's like, yo, just get bowling rosin bags. Just get rosin bags.
And
I was
that's
like,
right up your alley because
I was
you're a
like,
bowler.
it's my second sport. So I was like, hold up. So I was like, let me give that a try. So I went into my bowling bag and I was like, all right, grab them, threw it in the golf bag, took it to the course and hit them on the range and, you know, just dabbed my hands up with some rosin. Hands dried immediately. Grips got dry and like tacky. Granted, they're a little multicolored because it's just, they look dusty now, but
Yep.
hey, I got to do what I got to do in order to make sure my hands are not slipping on the club and make sure when I'm about to, because I have smaller hands, obviously. So I need to make sure I have full grip. Well, it worked. So I'm going to give it a test again. I think I found a simple solution. I would like to try those Roo grips down the road, but you know, quick fix, rosin bag helps. If anybody has out there that get, you know, sweaty hands and if they're playing in extremely humid and hot weather, go get yourself some rosin bags, throw that in the bag, just dab up your hands real quick, dry instantly.
Well, it's
And
funny,
that's the
man.
key to it.
Like you said, it is the worst feeling in the world, whether you're out there and it's raining or you're out there with sweaty hands and you just can't get a grip on the club. You know, I've went through, I used to play tour wraps and now I have kind of the multi-compounds, and I think the multi-compounds do a little better than the tour wraps. You know, when you're dealing with moisture, kind of, you know, secondary moisture in your hands or off the rain or something like that. But there's you go from swinging well to having zero confidence real quick when
Yeah.
you feel like something's going to slip out of your hands all day.
See, I mean, you can always go down the quartered grip route too, but I mean, that's great for the summer. But when it comes to the fall, they're not the best.
Now they almost feel like frozen and like rock solid when it starts getting cold. So there's that like catch-22. If you're gearheads like us, you might enjoy changing your grips often. So I mean, you could always go that route too. You could have your summer grip and then change them for your winter grips. I mean, there's a lot out there. My dad is a huge fan of the wind grips. So they're like kind of really soft and like tacky.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
you know, they kind of do the same thing when that material that the wing grips are made out of gets cold. It gets like rock solid almost,
Yeah, they
and
get
it loses the rubberness of it. Kind of the I would say, I always told him it feels like you're gripping into one of those umbrella gel grips. Like it feels like there's that much give in it, and like over the summer, I just don't like it because they're so, you know, jelly almost. But
yeah, I'm not a fan of those. They just feel a little too soft sometimes, and then I
yeah,
feel as if I'm gripping it too firm
yep.
rather than having that like perfect pressure. Yeah, I'm not a fan of those, but hey, whatever works when it comes to you gripping the club. I mean, that's what it all comes down to. I think
Amen on
that's
that.
one of the key components into a
I
golf
feel like
club.
it's just the age old saying of golf. Like it's like swing your swing, but like do what you need to do to make it work for you so that you can play your best golf. That's really all that matters. But one thing else I want to jump into was my weird round that I had out at Lighthouse the other day. Lighthouse Sound down in Bishopville, Maryland. Was out there with a couple buddies playing an afternoon round. And about the ninth hole, my driver head just decides to fly off. So I was like, okay, that's weird. I mean, I know I've played it for a long time, and I'll tell you a couple theories the guys I had playing with kind of threw around after the
I was,
second occurrence happened. But
I'm like gearhead Dante over here, basically. Okay, did the shaft snap, or
so it
did the
snapped.
tip slide off?
It snapped right before the tip, kind of just right at the tip. It was a clean break too. It just looked like a
Mm.
little fracture though. And then on the 17th hole, I had about 175, 180, and I tried to hit a 6-iron, and the 6-iron head went flying off. So either I had a really bad day where just, the gods were not on my side, or something in my car happened where there was a little too much
It's
pressure on some of the club heads. But
Wait, did the shaft break on the iron too?
yeah, right at the same spot, right at the hosel.
You must have had the club sitting in a weird spot, or you threw something on there that did not
Here's
put
a
the right
couple
pressure.
hypotheticals that the guys I was playing with, because they're also gearheads like myself. Here's a couple hypotheticals they threw around. Either it was just I've had them for so long, because I've had the M1 in my bag with the same shaft on it since
Yeah.
2017. So I've had that
Hmm.
shaft for 3-4 years, and as much as I play golf and my swing speed's upwards of like 110, it could have just happened. And then I got these irons that I have. I play the Mizuno MP32s with the S300s. They're old. I got them secondhand off of Facebook Marketplace, but I love the way they feel. But who knows how long the guy had them before I got them.
And
And
yeah,
then,
what? Yep.
I mean, the grips were fresh on them, and the grooves were pretty good. But how long did he have them before I got them? And then as much golf as I play too. And here's the interesting thing that I took from all of it. The shafts that I'm playing, after like kind of doing a little research to get these clubs reshafted, I think are way, way too whippy for me. A couple of the guys that I play with play X100s for the dynamic
Yeah.
golds.
Yep.
And they said, the difference between an X100 and an S300 is actually like kind of two shaft stiffnesses too light for me. So maybe, and it kind of was the same thing for the driver shaft as well. It was like way too kind of whippy for me for my swing speed. So maybe that occurrence of my swing speed and the lightness of the shaft resulted in them breaking. I don't know, but it was the weirdest day of my life. I've never had two clubs break on me involuntarily. I've broken clubs on the golf course before, but
So have I.
they're at my will,
Yeah.
not by accident. So it was a
Yeah, I haven't.
strange day.
That is weird. And I know I've gone down issues when it comes to. I've had like clubs where I've had fair. Like I'm very particular about my my equipment, and as much as it needs to perform, it also has to be aesthetically pleasing at the same time. So I'm a big component of when it comes to the ferrules. I hate when the ferrules, come off and they just slide off the hosel. It's the most frustrating thing in the world. And obviously, that's just an aesthetic piece. The club head's probably not going to fly off.
Yep.
It's just to kind of just make it all look clean. But some people, they just don't care because hey, the club's still doing what it needs to do, and hey, I don't care. Me on the other side, and I've noticed that, and I've been told too, if you're one to keep your clubs kind of just thrown in your trunk and they just sit there all the time, extreme cold weather, everything kind of hardens up, and then it can separate there. And then the same thing with the extreme heat, especially in the summertime, if you're just keeping them thrown in the back of your trunk, and you get the heat pounding on the car, and then it's like a hot box in there, they can loosen up. So I know that could happen too. So that could have probably done some damage if the clubs were lying down on a funky angle, some weird pressure, or if you just had the clubs sitting in the trunk for a while. I'll tell you what, I take my clubs out of the trunk and I stand them still, like in my room every single time. After I do, putting clubs together is awesome as it is, knowing how to, and like rewarding. It's such a pain in the ass because I just don't want to go down that process, because the curing process with the epoxy just takes forever for what I have, and I just impatient. But yeah, that's strange. And you actually shot pretty decent, right? You had
It's
you were missing
insane.
2 clubs.
Yeah, I actually so the 6-iron didn't really matter because it was on 17. So like I didn't
Okay.
need it the rest of the day. But the
Yeah.
driver, the whole back 9, I actually hit 3-wood. And it brought the conversation into play for me too. Why do I even have a driver in the bag? Because I hit 3-wood, and even when I sprayed it a little bit, it wasn't as far in trouble as what my driver would have been. So it kept me in play, in all honesty. And
Dude,
I hit it well.
there's that conversation all the time between, especially amateur golfers, when it comes to distance and control, is most AM golfers, their driver and their 3-wood are almost identical in distance. So if you can make solid contact with your 3-wood and it goes roughly as far as your driver, but with more control, why even pull driver? And I've gone down that road before. There was times I couldn't hit a driver at all. I mean, so I took it, basically almost took it out of the bag. I was just pulling 3-wood all the time and just hitting these like little low missile bullets, little draws every single time and get some rollout, and boom, I was perfect as if where my driver would be. And
Yeah. I
it's
realized
crazy.
too, like I was so much more comfortable with having like 9-iron or 8-iron in than having those like tricky wedges sometimes I was gonna have
Oh, I
if
hate
I
that.
hit driver well. So it just brought a lot of conversation to play of like, why do I even have it? But then of course I was very quick to go online and purchase a shaft replacement for my driver because
Yeah.
I miss hitting long bombs.
Oh yeah, right. And then same thing with like the wedge game is when you had those tweener shots and those feelers that you probably aren't practicing much on the range. Give me a number where I'm taking a full swing and I'm comfortable at it. You're gonna
Yep.
see better. You're gonna see better results than trying to hit a feeler flip shot into the green.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah, high
totally
bombs
agree,
are
man.
always fine too.
High bombs are fun, but probably get you in trouble more often than not. And yeah, I'm in that tinkering phase now because the shaft I ordered was close to the same specs as mine, but not the same exact shaft. It's a little lighter, and I feel way off now. It's only like 5 grams lighter, but 5 grams is huge when you're setting the club up at top. You can just kind of feel it. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't find it. I'm a mess right now with the driver. And if anyone out there knows of what direction to go to find a really kind of like my buddies and I were talking, we dubbed it the telephone pole shaft. If we can find one of those that's like just absolutely no way I can snap hook it because of how just freaking stiff it is, then
Oh,
I'm all game to try it out.
we call them 2x4s over at the deer.
Yeah,
This one
I
kid
mean
had, I
whatever it
mean, he
is, man.
has like
I'm down.
he's throwing, I think he has like an 80. This kid, I mean, he pounds it. Kid that works at the deer, he crushes the ball. He's got like an 80-gram driver shaft, and it's stiff as a board. So yeah, we got guys that I could
I'm
probably find you something.
I'm up to
I'll
try one
shop
because
around.
my old shafts were 65 gram and now the new one's 60 gram. It feels like a
That's
senior
a
flex
big
shaft.
difference.
It's ridiculous. I don't know why I bought it looking back at it. So yeah, you're
Yeah,
welcome to whoever sold it to me because I probably screwed up and you got my money. So cheers to you.
tinkering's fun.
Oh,
Tinkering's
tinkering's
fun.
a lot of fun. I did figure
So
it
much
out,
fun.
at least on the range before I played yesterday. I got it down to the lowest setting possible on like high draw, and now I can hit it straight with a little cut. Before, when I was just had it at neutral, I was just smoking these high cuts that went nowhere. So it's definitely
Ah,
not the right shaft for me, but it at least has a driver back in my bag, and I can find
yeah,
some sort of play for it for now. It'll get me by. Would I take it to a tournament? Absolutely not. But, for the casual rounds of golf I'm playing right now, it'll work.
yeah, I hear you. Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Well, we've been trying to do our best to, I think, of documenting every time we get out and play. And, for those who are maybe just finding us listenership wise and don't follow us on Instagram yet, that's at Enjoy the Walk Pod on Instagram. Dante and I are always keeping you guys in a loop with where we're playing and finding hidden gems. Dante, you found a hell of a hidden gem out there in New Jersey, a little par 3 course with your family.
Yo, yeah, that place is sick. Oh my God. Like I never even knew of it. And it's hidden off of this one road. Like, I mean, my brother doesn't play golf, right? I mean, him and I did some camps when we were way younger, but he ended up stop playing. So he comes to visit, he's hanging out, and my dad and I are like, well, why don't we take, I think he actually brought it up. He's like, hey, can I go play golf with you guys? Well, like, he doesn't play, so not so sure how he's going to hit the ball. So my dad's like, well, why don't we go play that Muni course, the par 3? So yeah, that'd be perfect. So my dad played it before with a friend from his previous job that was trying to get back into it, and they went there. Well, it's called the Washington Township, which is obviously a township in New Jersey, right, not too far from where I'm at in Glassboro. Washington Township Municipal Golf Course. I mean, it is the definition of a muni. You drive up, you make this turn in this road, you pull into this parking lot. All you see is just this. I mean, it's actually it was actually gorgeous. You just see this little fence, and then you walk through this fence down this little walkway, nice little trees and all that, like little bushes, and then there's just this looks like a park restroom building. You know those square park restroom buildings? It's just like cinder block, just like straight up square. And dude, it was with COVID time. I mean, there is no club S, going, you just walk up to the window and then you pay. And then it's $18. It's a 9-hole course. It's $18, but you get two rounds. So it's basically $1 a hole.
That is beautiful. That is what we need more of in this country, man. We talk about it all the time. And it's a short course, right?
It's a par 3. I mean, so it's I think most of the holes played from 115 to about, I think the longest par 3 was maybe 150. So in between there, and then the last hole, the ninth hole is a par 4. It's 248 yards. And beautiful. It was perfect.
I love it.
It was.
Now, how'd your brother like it for just being like kind of a first timer again?
Well, he had fun, and it was funny because I'm sitting there. I'm like, he's like sitting there setting up, and he looks like so stiff, and he's like taking like these weird back swings, and I'm like, and he's got like this weird grip. I'm like, hold up. So I gave him like a few pointers, and then I kind of gave him, based off of my yardages, I gave him +2 clubs, and I was like, take that, you should be fine. We get up to the first hole. It's about 115 yards. I think I told him to pull out a 9-iron, and he takes a swing, and I said, hey, like, I kind of gave him the grip. I was like, hey, just kind of keep it in your fingertips, kind of like loose grip, and kind of like when you take it back, just kind of like hinge the wrist, and just he's an athlete, let your athletic ability just do the work. So he pipes it dead straight, just short front of the green. It's like, wow. I like dead straight, dude. I thought the kid was gonna. I thought he was gonna kind of like top the ball over the place, shank him here and there. I mean, he was just taking the club back and opening the face, like way open. But obviously, I mean, don't play. But the kid got around and played his own ball. Granted, we gave him a couple redos because he doesn't play. But I mean, it was a lot of fun. Course was in great shape. I mean, it was a little wet because it poured the night before. Obviously, I mean, he once I kind of trained him on a little bit on like putting technique, he started rolling the ball way better. And I'm like, it was just a lot of fun because usually it's just me and my dad. And then that day it was my dad, my brother, and me. And it was like the coolest thing ever. I was like, wow, this was like really special. But the course was sick. I mean, I'll tell you what, like I said it on the post, I said, if you want to practice like approach shots into the greens, go there.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. When you posted that place, it reminded me of a spot that me and my buddy went to in Delaware a week ago or 2 weeks ago called Salt Pond. And it's the same deal. The whole course is like, I think, 4,200 yards. And it's a mix of par 3s, par 4s, full 18 course. But like the longest hole on it's like 248, 250, like you said. And it was the same thing. It was like I didn't hit driver all day. The longest club I hit was a little hybrid because my buddy and I were trying to drive the one par 4 in one, but it was so much fun because I had irons in my hands all day. It was a perfect place to Sunday carry because you didn't need all 14 clubs. You didn't need any of your woods. You didn't, it was just basically you could take wedges and all the way up to like 6-iron and a putter. And that was like really, truly all you needed and to have a ton of fun. And it was actually so packed. We went out there as a twosome, but got hooked up with these two guys that caught up to us. And they were two brothers that were from the like New York area, but were quarantining down in Delaware. And these guys, this awesome little par 3 course, let these guys like join as members for like $300. And they could play as much as they want. All they had to do was make tee times. So these guys who were like barely knew the game before they came down because they had a house in the area, played golf 36 holes or more. Because it was such a little small course, you could rip around these little courses in like 2.5 hours.
That was great.
They said they were playing like 36, 54 holes a day. And it was so cool because these guys who really never golfed before were getting the chance to enjoy the game because they said they kept saying how much fun they were having. And that was so cool.
I'll tell you what, it was a lot of fun because like you said, it was fast. It was real fast. And here it was like there was no stuffy restrictions. I mean, they said just don't show up in a tank top and you're good. So I'm out here and just like athletic attire, just as comfortable as I possibly can be playing golf. And, you know, short course, you're playing fast and you work on your game. And I'll tell you what, we need more courses like that because you can have some serious skins money games if you wanted to. Because it wasn't the par three as I was expecting. It's not where you're hitting 50-yard shots, 75-yard.
Yeah.
You know, these are legit full second shots in the greens.
You're taking full rips.
You're taking full rips as if you were playing. It's just taking the driver out of play and playing your second shot in. So you can, and these greens were tricky. They were pretty undulated. They were tight. They were slow. But I think that was because of the rain. But it doesn't matter. I mean, the object is to work on your approach game. And dude, I would love to get a group of guys to just head to this place because I think they can, if you invest a little bit more, you can have a nice, sick outdoor, like kind of patio where you can like, chill afterwards. But yeah, you just roll up, no tee times, and you just roll up, pay, head to the first.
And you're next. Yep. And you're next up. It's so fun, man. It's just such a laid back atmosphere. And it's what we preach about all the time of how we love to enjoy golf. Like, yes, we love like getting dressed up and like the private clubs are like obviously fun for us because we're golf nuts. But like we're probably part of like a very small percentage that can afford to do those private clubs and can like go and play at those private clubs all the time because we're good enough. But for the majority of people out there who are just trying to get into the game or just want to play like recreationally and have no kind of, maybe even want to fork the money out for a private club, these little courses, and which, like I said, is the high majority of people in the country, these little public clubs that are like par threes that let everybody be able to play, that's where the future of golf's at, man. And it's so cool to see that like there's these little spots popping up all over the place.
And that's how you get more people to get into golf. And example, I was talking to one of my friends from high school. We were chatting for a bit and he goes, "Hey, when are we going to go play golf?" And I said, "I don't know." And I was telling him about this course and he goes, "That's exactly what I'm looking for." He goes, because you get these guys who don't play, or if they want to get into it, they're afraid to step on this monster course. That's like, middles tees playing 6,500 yards. These guys don't know how to hit a golf ball. And he said these like pretty much almost exact words. He goes, "That's the course I want to go to. I want to go to like some short." He goes, "I don't need no big ass course to play." He goes, "I just want to go with some friends, have some fun, take a couple clubs, wear what I want, and like be done in a couple hours." He goes, and he even said it. He goes, "If I stepped on a big course, I don't want to do that because I'm scared." He goes, I don't want to feel like I'm doing the wrong thing at like a private country club. Like you and I know, but if you're getting someone who's brand new to the game and you don't want to kind of like freak them out to where they go out and play, they're like, "I'm never going to do this again." You take them to a short course, you take them to like a par 3 muni, you have some fun, maybe bring a little cooler with some beers or whatnot. That's what he goes, "That's what I'm looking for." He goes, "Golf's hard enough as it is." He goes, "I'm just trying to have fun." He goes, "And it's just golf. It's frustrating. I know that." He goes, "But if I can go to a course and just have some fun," he's all in. And I was like, "Well, we should figure something out." And I told him it was $18. He goes, "Let's go."
It's that Top Golf mentality that's starting to finally make its way into like real golf courses. And it's awesome to see. I mean, we've said it time and time again, but places like the Cradle at Pinehurst that has music playing all the time, they have drink service out there. Now, I mean, some of these other munis don't have like the drink service and stuff like that, but it's that mentality that's starting to vibe into golf as a culture and bringing people who have never thought about playing the game before into trying the game of golf. And it's going to lead to, I think, a huge, huge industry surplus of people who actually, down the long run, get more interested in the game and then start taking buddies trips. So it's like, that's where the love of the game starts, is at these small courses. And it transitions into people, down the road in their 30s and 40s, and even later taking trips to the Pinehursts, the Bandons, the Lost Farms of what the bigger possibility of the golf industry is.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. And I'll say this again, is what's great about those courses is like, if you look kind of more on a financial and real estate aspect, you're not covering as much ground. So less work is needed to go into the maintenance. And then on a real estate agents are probably happy because you're not taking up so much land that they can sell property to. But this, and then for the avid golfer like ourselves, you can find a way to make that interesting. You make it a challenge. Like I said, like you get money games, you get skins games, and or you say, you know, I'm gonna take 5 clubs and see what I can score. So you can still get the competitive side of it, but you can also still bring in a huge new wave of golfers, which then you can eventually, like you said, go to like a Pinehurst and go to like Abandoned Dunes and take these buddy trips. And now you have, because like, I mean, you and I have been down that road. It's hard to get guys to go to on these trips because 1, they don't want to spend the money, and 2, they don't golf as much. So you don't want to take these guys to these courses that are extremely difficult. So say, hey, let me bring a friend of mine, and we start playing this local par 3 muni, and he starts playing, and he goes, wow, this is a lot of fun. I want to do this again. Then he comes back again, and then months down the road, he's out buying a brand new set of clubs. He's studying the game, he's learning how to play, and he steps on an 18-hole course, and he actually does really well. And then it just snowballs effects down that way. And now here he's texting you, when we go in the Bandon, when we go in the Pinehurst, when we go in the Myrtle, when we go to like any type of Florida stream song, like all that. And like that's how you do it.
It doesn't take much to get the ball rolling. I think anyone who's a listener of ours that knows like when they've started the game, it didn't take much after that to get hooked and to get hooked bad. So that's like, these kind of courses are the perfect kind of breeding grounds to get that little, like, bit by the bug, as Isaiah says all the time. It's that perfect breeding ground to hit a couple wedges real close or hit a couple mid irons real good. And you say, damn, that was fun. When are we doing it again? And that's all it takes. And from there, the industry is just going to boom. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it.
Awesome, man.
And I want to find more. I was
just going to say that we need to find more. I know they're out there. So if our listeners are out there, give us the 411 on the local munis or the local short tracks in your area. And maybe you'll see us. I think that's kind of in our future plans, is to start traveling out to these little munis and these little, short courses and get communities together and have some fun per the podcast. And I'm excited to see what we stumble upon, because I know, like you just said, they're hidden gems. And I know the people know they're out there. So let us know, guys.
I know in the Pennsylvania, the Delaware, the New Jersey, and Maryland area, I know that circle, there's got to be a few. So hit us up. Let's get some games going.
Yeah, guys, reach out to us, whether it's at Enjoy the Walk Pod on Instagram or Twitter. www.enjoythewalkpod.com. There's a little contact sheet at the bottom of our page. You guys can contact us there as well, or email us at enjoythewalk19@gmail.com. You guys can reach out any form and just let us know, where's the little local hidden gems and when do you want us there? Because we'll come out. We promise. We want to have fun with you guys. So hit us up, guys. Let us know where you're at, and also interact with us and let us know what you think of the podcast. If you guys want to leave us a rating or review on iTunes, that would mean the world. All you got to do is go to iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and click on the Enjoy the Walk podcast and go down to the bottom, hit the stars, and it'll prompt you to leave a review. Tell us what you think of us, the good, the bad, the ugly. Preferably the good, but
yes.
if you want to leave the rest, so be it. That's your 411, and that's it. So Dante, we got some professional golf starting up, and I think let's get into the guys trying to make a living. Like we just had Mickey on last week for the Korn Ferry Tour. Something that went well under the radar, I think, was the Korn Ferry Tour and the PGA Tour Better Ball event that was staged last week at St. Simon's Island in Georgia. St. Simon's Island is known for being like kind of a hub of a lot of these professional golfers, whether it's the Korn Ferry Tour guys, whether it's the PGA Tour guys. Davis Love III is notorious for being down in the St. Simon's Island area. Keith Mitchell, who just won for the first time last year, St. Simon's Island resident. There's a lot of good golf in that St. Simon's area. And I think it's shown in the organization of this event. They called it what did they call it? The Back to Golf Challenge was held. It was a better ball event between two guys, one from the PGA, one from the Korn Ferry Tour, and about 20 teams. I wish this would have gotten more coverage. I would have loved to have watched these guys duke it out because great golf was played. I think 16 under won, 15 or 16 under won the event as a better ball for a two-round better ball. That's golfing your ball off right there.
That is, and I have a friend of mine too, when he watches pro golf, they're on another level. They're just, it's just a completely different world to them. He likes seeing high bombs. He likes seeing low scores. So he would have loved to tune into that. And I'll tell you what, I had no idea until we discussed a few minutes before going on about this. And I think you actually just heard it from, you got the news from Zach Blair.
Yeah, I saw his Instagram stories.
Through an Instagram story.
Yep.
So the question is, why wasn't this headline and why wasn't this advertised to the golf community? Because again, we are itching for live sports, whether it's golf, baseball, basketball, football, any sport out there. Sports fans are looking for something live to watch.
Well, and let us just stop for a second and realize who was in it too. These weren't just like, no names. They had, as we said earlier, like the Keith Mitchells, the Davis Love III. They had Harris English, Patton Kazire, Brian Harmon, Hudson Swafford, Johnson Wagner, Brandon DeJong. They had some seriously world-class players playing in this event. And I mean, correct us if we're wrong, but I didn't see it on Golf Channel. I didn't see any commercials for it. I didn't see any social media posts by the PGA Tour or the Korn Ferry Tour about it. Like, now, I think you had a devil's advocate to why we maybe didn't see it. And I want to hear it.
I thought, maybe it could have been just a, text message, buddy to buddy kind of exhibition, kind of just like, hey, let's just get a game going. Just like you and I would text like our group of buddies that are members, like, let's just get like this game going. Let's throw X amount of dollars down and let's just get it. Let's play. And like, cause we do better ball stuff all the time. And we actually had one over the weekend, and Golf Channel and them, they're not covering that. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to see that, but it seems like it was kind of like under the radar. But at the same time, what you were saying, I mean, there's 20 teams. And so where was the promotions?
Well, it just blows, and I think the only thing that maybe I can think of to why it wasn't is like what we talked about last week with Mickey DeMorat and kind of the money match games that were being held at TPC Sawgrass. Maybe this was a similar style, and the pros were simply, like you said, buddy getting together and didn't want the coverage, didn't want the limelight. But as far as I know, I mean, the course they played at, St. Simon's Island, the Sea Island course, they hold the RSM Classic there. So, I mean, It's not like it's foreign to that course to have the cameras come in. It's not foreign to have the infrastructure come in. So it just blows my mind. This is the kind of stuff, man, that we need to see. This is the kind of stuff that would get such good ratings. A better ball event, we don't see that too often. We see one other partner event, and that's down in Texas. I think Kisner and Scott Brown won it one year, and that's about it. Like, that's the only better ball event we ever see, and we need so much more of that in this, especially in this climate, let alone just in general. We need so much more of these style events getting bigger coverage. Yeah,
like we're like the so my only question too is, did they not, like, which is messed up? Did they not show up because there was no Rory, there was no DJ, there was no Tiger, no Phil, these big name guys that everybody knows. Like Jim Furyk. I think that's the other stigma holding the industry back is if we don't have a top 5 player or the notorious players like we keep talking about that have all these brand deals, then they don't think people are going to watch. It's all about numbers and ratings, and I get that. But you can't tell me, especially like diehard golf fans, but anyone of the industry or even outside the industry, they're going to watch. They're still going to watch. Everyone knows a name like Davis Love III. Everyone knows Jim Furyk. They've been around the game for 59, ages. 58.
Yeah. I mean, you can't tell me that this didn't garner the kind of media because of who was in it, because there was world-class players in it. And you even had like guys like Harris English, guys like Brandon DeJong. You have international players that played in this too. So it wasn't just like an all U.S. field either. It just blows my mind that we continually, as a golf like kind of broadcast industry, just breeze over this. Because like you said, the NBA, they broadcast the G League. They broadcast their lower guys. They broadcast all of that. And it just blows my mind that the PGA Tour is yet again missing out on this kind of coverage, because I think it's what the people want to see.
I mean, you could have easily done this on Instagram Live. Just had some guy rolling around. I mean, there's so much outlets now on a media side of things to where, and tools that don't require much to where you can still get the entire experience. And it just baffles me. I mean, you just throw up a phone and you can get some quality picture. Obviously you don't want to, if you have that type of equipment to handle, you don't want to kind of like, you know what I mean? There's ways to get it done. And maybe it was so relaxed too that what if these guys are just like taking carts? Like, again, that Tom Brady, Phil Payton,
The best
Tiger match was cool. I mean, it's just, again, it's these exhibitions, these two COVID expeditions were great because on like two things, or mainly one thing, the stuff that they did brought it back way to reality of what every amateur golfer goes to when they play golf. They're taking carts, they're carrying their bag, they're wearing shorts, like they're just going out and playing golf. Like that's what we do on the regular 24/7. That when we're out playing golf, that's what we're doing. So like that's kind of cool to see, and I like to see them try and broadcast. And I'm pretty sure, I hope a lot of our listeners and even all type of golf viewers like to see that. I mean, you're bringing these elites kind of down to your level in a way. It's almost just watching great players play like weekend rounds. I think that's really cool to see. I think it's something they dropped the ball and missed completely.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's funny. We struggled to find it even when we looked it up, because like I said, I saw it on Zach Blair's Instagram, but after that, we struggled to find it for a couple minutes of what it was called even, or where it was. I knew that there was a better ball event, but I didn't know what it was called, how it was out there. So the fact that we even struggled to find it, it blows my mind. But it's stuff like that I want to see more of, and I hope that it's not just because of COVID. I think after all this stuff subsides, I still want to see these kind of exhibition style events, maybe little side money matches. I think as sports betting gets more into the realm of golf and legalized everywhere, I think these kind of exhibitions, man, they're even fun for the sports bettors. Like, all right, let's put the over under on skins. Let's put the over under on, birdies, eagles. I think I saw one guy, there was rumors. I don't know if it's official because I can't find a leaderboard, but there was rumors of someone making an ace on one of the par fours. I mean, It's just really cool stuff that you're just not going to get to see. Guys aren't going to take leaps of like big kind of takes on the golf course like they would if they're playing in a better ball event, like as opposed to the PGA Tour. They're not going to take those extra kind of chances, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. Like, especially when they're playing just for themselves, doing solo, and then it's out and there's people everywhere and there's cameras on them. They're working at that point, but you switch it up a little bit, you kind of get a different edge, like you're saying. So I don't know. It was missed. Hopefully we can see something like this again and actually get some broadcasting on that, because it would be, from me as a fan, it'd be really a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I totally agree. But coming back into, they're kind of as scheduled events, we're getting back into the Korn Ferry full time this week coming up, and excited to see how our boy Mick does in the first week back. And I think with him being in his hometown, TPC Sawgrass, that now it's not at the stadium course, it's at the Dyes Valley course. And I hope we'll at least see some highlights from it, because I don't think it's going to be a full televised event. But I think the Dyes Valley course is going to show off a little bit this week. It's kind of that underrated gem that always gets outspoken by the TPC stadium course. So excited to see those guys play that course this week.
Yeah. Hopefully we can find some type of I like to watch those guys, because again, Korn Ferry, man, these guys are giving it everything to find a way to get themselves on the PGA Tour. So these guys are going to attack. So you're going to see some insane golf, and it'd be cool to get some of that on TV.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we'll totally see some. I don't know if we'll see all of it, but I hope to see some Korn Ferry kind of just overall coverage, because it's what we need to see. We need to start seeing more of, especially since the Canadian tour is canceled for this year, and a lot of the other PGA Tour Latin America is canceled for this year. There's no other subdivision tour really playing other than the Korn Ferry Tour, so there's no reason why we shouldn't see coverage of it. And especially with them playing every week now too, like Mick said, they're playing every week for I think almost 18 to 20 weeks straight now, kind of a race to the finish to jam it all in. So it's going to be exciting, man. It's going to be a battle of the fittest, I think, of who's going to last it out. And it's going to be really cool to see. Someone's going to get hot and I think win 2 or 3 in a row.
That's going to be huge for them too.
It's life-changing. There's life-changing opportunities out there, and it's going to happen to somebody. Mark my words.
Saying 20 weeks straight, you win. Within a month span, you win 2 or 3 of those. You're setting yourself up for, like you said, a life-changing experience, and that's exactly what those guys are looking for.
Yep, I can't wait to see it. And
Listen,
the week after.
Speaking of it, and we can transition it. I just want to be able to come home after my Sunday game, kick up the feet, crack a beer, turn on, and watch some live golf.
Hey, we're there. That. We're there. I love it. And, speaking of being there, the PGA Tour is coming back next week with the Charles Schwab Cup. And I tell you what, I am pumped to see. You see it they covered Colin Morikawa, the young guys out there. They're just chomping at the bit to get back. And I know the old guys are too. You saw VJ kind of trying to get into a Korn Ferry event because he was just sick of not playing competitive golf.
Was that the reason he just wanted to play competitive golf?
I think so. I think he literally just wanted to play competitive golf and get in the tournament atmosphere again. So it's a shame. It's a shame that he kind of got publicly harassed for wanting to go monk it up with the Korn Ferry guys. Because like Mickey said, he would have loved to have VJ out there playing with those guys. It would have been so great for the tour.
That, and then if you got paired up with him, you can try and pick his brain and just get all this type of information from him, like all the pros do. Especially the grind to make yourself one of the greatest.
Yeah, I think it's a shame that he's not playing anymore, but I totally get it. People were saying, oh, he's taking a spot from somebody who's grinding. And honestly, at this point, no, he's not, because everyone in the Korn Ferry Tour that's playing this week, there's no Monday qualifiers because of COVID. There's no, the field's set. So if he wanted to play, it was kind of special exemption wise.
And that's the thing. I think people get a little they misinterpret the exemption. You're exempting someone. You're kind of aren't you adding a spot when you bring in
correct?
These,
it's not like
celebs?
They're going to a Monday qualifier and saying, oh, you know what? Last minute exemption. Instead of 5 spots, we're only taking 4 now. Sorry. It's not that. It's basically it's still the every spot's available plus 1 is basically the way it's working. So yeah. But either way, I'm excited to see the pros get back. Like I said, this week at Charles Schwab Club in Colonial Country Club. And then the week after that, the RBC Heritage, the rescheduled, Harbor Town Golf Links, usually the week right after the Masters. So pumped to see that course probably get some limelight because it'll be the second week back. It's always historically kind of the most overlooked tournament because everyone's there's such a emotional high from usually the Sunday at the Masters that no one watches the Masters, the post week Masters, and no one goes to the RBC really after that either. They're kind of all spent from putting so much focus into the Masters. So there's going to be some big guns out at the RBC, and there's going to be a lot of viewership, I believe.
It's tough having a tournament after the following week after any major. That's just got to suck because, like you said, they're exhausted. They're exhausting everything they possibly can because some guys, that's all they want. And that's pretty much that's their championships. Everything else kind of leads up to it. So yeah, that'd be cool. Hey, see some new face winning it. That is one of the top 20 that never nearly plays. So that would be interesting to see. So
yeah,
that's kind of cool for them. So yeah,
I'm gonna tell you
Excited to
what,
see
out
that.
of the quarantine, I think a lot of guys did what Mickey was talking about last week. They all went to probably, their prospective fittings and got their clubs dialed, got their games dialed. I want to say, and it might be wrong. I think, it could go one of two ways. We saw in the drive and relief match, guys were a little rusty. But I think since then, they've all had 2 or 3 weeks to get back into form. And I think that's all it takes for these world-class players. As long as they, dust off the clubs and get the body working a little bit, I think 2 to 3 weeks is a perfect time for those guys to get back into, top-notch form. And I'm excited to see what golf comes out of it, because there's either going to be someone who comes out of the woodworks and wins and contends consistently, or you're just going to see the top 25 kind of take over and prove why they're the top 25.
Yeah,
So
I
excited to
agree.
see those guys play.
Yeah. Funny
But
thing, you probably have the one dude that just doesn't do anything, that just shows up, plays maybe, like the guy who comes out on a weekend or little mini getaway, comes out, shoots lights out, puts the clubs back in the trunk, and then goes home. That'd be pretty funny to see one of
it was
those guys just like play lights out.
speaking of one of those guys, one that always pops in my head is Maverick McNeely. He always talks about how he really never practices. He kind of just shows up at events, and that's his work for the week. And, as funny as that is, he contends usually. So it's guys like that I think will thrive in this scenario. And it's exciting to see who's going to pop their heads around the corner and maybe, put a title up on the board and play for some serious money.
Yeah,
So
I can't wait.
I can't wait either. Well, guys, as we got into this past week of golf news, and as exciting as everything has been, we do need to touch on something that's kind of heavy on our hearts and heavy on, your area, Dante, and kind of, where we went through the golf scene last year with playing in the Barstool Classic up at Philmont. They had a tragic incident up there. Their head professional, Justin Regal, was working in the club on Wednesday when a heavy storm rolled through, and unfortunately passed in a really horrific accident. So, guys, we just wanted to touch on that and let not only Justin Regal's family out there know that we're praying for them, but the whole Philadelphia golf community. We want you to know that our hearts are with you. And we're doing everything we can to help support. Guys, if you can go check out our Instagram page right now at Enjoy the Walk Pod, you'll find the GoFundMe page to help Regal's family and the Philadelphia community as a whole give what they can and give what we can and give what you can to his family to help cover costs of anything and everything that's going to be involved with the future for his child. His wife is 8 months pregnant. And guys, if you could just go give, whether it's $5, $10, 20, 50, 100, whatever it is, give what you can to help out, help out this family in their time of need. Dante, we had such an amazing experience out there at Philmont when we were up there through, a little bit of handicap issues to the rain delay. Justin Regal was so positive and so kind of he was just such a great face for that club. It's a shame to see, this happen to such an amazing individual. And I'm sure his family is amazing as well. And we just want to be able to help in any way we can and, give back to truly an amazing individual.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And it was a shame because it happens just so fast. And it just, you're speechless. Like you wake up the next morning and you or hours later, you find out this news, and, GAP, Golf Association of Philadelphia, reaches out, and it's like, we truly lost. We lost one of our brothers, our family members, this is our community. And as golf, we are a community. We need to band together. And it's just so unfortunate this happened to such one of the nicest gentlemen you probably ever meet. And like you said, when we were at the Barstool Classic at Philmont, Riggs even said it. He said how great of a person he was, and it made everything run so smoothly. And the Glover Park Tour guys, which we will get into, and the tournament coming up this weekend, it's the kickoff to their season. They finally got golf back, and it's a cool little local thing that they got going on. Well, obviously we'll find out more, and also kind of pay tribute to Philmont and the loss of one of our community members, one of our family members. And it it's a shame. It just sucks, to
It
be
does.
honest. It's
There's
just
no other
like you
way to
just
put it than it just
and it
sucks.
just sucks. And it's just like just happens so fast. You just
It
blink of an eye.
it's why, man, we talk about it every now and then, and I hope we don't have to talk about it all the time, but how fickle life is. We've seen it through, the COVID pandemic. Now we've seen it in this instance, and just it's why you should love people, man. It's why you should always reach out when you haven't heard from someone in longer than you might have, and always just check in on people, see how they're doing, and express, if you have people in your life who you truly care about and truly, think about all the time, you should reach out and just say, hey, you're appreciated, you're loved, you're welcome to, come over and just have a chat. You never know. It's just nuts, man. You just never know. And guys, if you could help us out by giving back to that GoFundMe, it would just mean the world to us. That Philadelphia golf scene has been, so inviting and welcoming of us as a podcast, but us as individuals too. Kind of even before we started the podcast, I grew up playing junior golf in the PGA, Philadelphia section, and just Philadelphia golf in general has meant a lot to my golf career. It's meant a lot to you, Dante, and the golf you've played and stuff like that. So, it's just Philadelphia golf has been such a big part of our lives. The least we can do is give back and you hopefully, encourage you guys to give back as well. So we want to thank you in advance for giving back. I know a lot of you will, and I know a lot of you have already. A lot of you have reached out to us and said, the minute I read it was the minute I gave back. So guys, really appreciate the help in us, just getting the message out there to give back. And if you guys can share it as well, like I said, the link to the GoFundMe will be in our Instagram page for until further notice. So guys, go check that out, share it if you can, and just help out a really wonderful family, in the passing of a wonderful individual. With that being said, guys, we'll get back on a little bit of a better note, and still in the golf in the Philly area, the Glover Park Tour. Dante, we've talked about this a couple times, and we're going to have them. We're going to foreshadow a little bit here. We're going to have them on the podcast on Thursday, and I just want to touch on a little bit of what the Glover Park Tour is, and I think why it fits us so well as a podcast and what we preach day in and day out. The Glover Park Tour is kind of a get together of like-minded individuals like us who just love the game, but aren't, professional level. It's a group of amateurs that just love to get together, but still play for the trophy, still play for their name on a spot on the trophy or a green jacket, that they have. And I think it's so cool that, it's in the Philadelphia area, and they've been doing it since 2009. And it's just an awesome way for, I think, golf nuts like ourselves to get that tournament atmosphere without having to play in the USGA events or the, PGA local events or your just state am events. It's a really neat way for, your mid to high handicappers to get involved in tournament golf.
Yeah. It's and I met them at the Philly Golf Show. One of the guys that runs the tour also has it's called Swing Oaks. It's a simulator facility. It looks really cool. I was hitting on the simulator that they brought in. But what like caught my eye when I saw it was they had this like stand or like this wall, and I see trophies, I see green jackets, I see some other like crazy plaid jacket, and I'm like, and it's a GPT. I'm like, what is this? And like, oh, it's called the Glover Park Tour. We run this tournament. It's basically for guys like you and I who aren't just your local amateur players who want to find a group of guys to play with, but play in a more competitive manner. When, say, you can't necessarily compete with some of the local amateur stuff that they have or the USGA stuff, but you want to still play competitive golf and you're kind of getting sick of your member tournaments. You want to mix it up, play different courses. And Glover Park Tour, here they are. I mean, they're playing some pretty sick courses. I mean, we're going to Philmont this Saturday. We're going they got one at Bethpage Black, and it looks like almost like every tournament there's some type of trophy that is awarded to the winner. I mean, big ass trophies. These things are massive. And like jackets. Like that's stuff that's fun. You're going out, you're having fun, you're going out with guys your age, roughly around your handicap, just guys who love golf, but you can still walk out with a trophy.
It's cool, man. I'm looking through their, like, their trophies and jackets now. They've had the Glover Park Tour Championship. They gave out this kind of like Wanamaker trophy looking replica. The Glover Park Open Championship, they have the claret jug kind of replica. And then they had a Downington Open where they gave away this kind of baseball bat trophy. So it's neat. They get creative with it. They have fun. And it's for like-minded individuals that just love the game and love to play for a little something more than, the cash in other guys' pockets. They love to play for a little trophy you can set up on the mantle and say, yeah, I won that. So it's really neat. And like you said, guys, next week they are getting out to Philmont, which I'm sure I will touch on here Thursday. But just wanted to let you guys know, they're trying to get a huge outpouring of interest in this Philmont event because of the recent events that happened there. And guys, we'd love to just get that message out as soon as possible for you guys to go sign up. So guys, if you want to go sign up, it's www.gloverparktourphiladelphia.com. And then you guys can, see everything that's about the Glover Park Tour there. Go sign up for the new event at Philmont next week, Dante, correct?
Yes, June 13th.
June 13th. So reach out, guys, if you can't register on gloverparktour.com. Yeah, guys, and if you want to contact their chapter president, Steve Panas, you can contact him either at Steve Arino, STEVORINO02 @gmail.com. I'm sure they will have a ton of extra spots open at this Philmont event just for the outpouring of interest they're going to have due to the recent events. So guys, go check that out, gloverparktourphiladelphia.com. And hopefully you guys can check that out and play some golf in Philly and be a part of just a really awesome laid back tournament atmosphere. So guys, I think that's just about it for us this week. We're back and playing tons of golf. We're going to have Glover Park Tour, I think 3 of their executive members on the show coming up Thursday. So hope you guys can check that out. And as always, guys, our merch is up for sale. We have a few hats left. Some of the Black Shield hats, the camo Black Shield, the black and gray Black Shield, and our gray dad hats. We have a couple of them left, guys. So head on over to our website, www.enjoythewalkpod.com, to check out all of our latest merch drops. Dante, playing golf later today, right?
Yes, sir. It's a bear shit in the woods.
Damn right he does. And you'll be down here on Wednesday as well. So guys, we'll do a little live from coverage of Dante and myself in down on Ocean City. So hope you guys can check that out as well at Enjoy the Walk Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Love you guys. Thanks for listening so much. Always get out there, carry your clubs, and enjoy the walk.
That's the stuff. One shot at a time.